Hello everyone, my name is PolishLynx. We are back in Everlasting Summer and we are seeking for answers. I opened the package and saw a bottle of Stolichnaya vodka. Well, so what? Pioneers bringing a bottle of vodka to the nurse. Or rather, I'm doing it for them. Happens every day. I wrapped the bottle back up and scratched my head. This isn't weird anymore, this is just stupid. So stupid I couldn't think of one intelligent theory. I stood there for a while longer and thought I shouldn't let such a wonderful chance slip away. I quickly walked to the camp leader's cabin. Thank God, Olga Dmitrievna was not there. I snuck inside and began to riffle through the contents of the table drawer. Soon the vodka was in a soda bottle, while in its place was some water for the plants. Happily with my clever plan, I went out and skipped along the way to the infirmary. Seriously, what is so wrong about that? They almost got me into a trap. If the camp leader had seen me, if anyone else had, I could have managed myself, so it was absolutely nothing. I gathered all my strength and knocked on the infirmary door. Hello, pioneer. Hello, I have a package for you, a bottle for your armpits, I mean a package for your cabinet. I was so euphoric I began to talk nonsense. She said. Hand it over. I handed her the package. The nurse stuffed it into the desk drawer without looking. You didn't open it, did you? Of course not. I blurted out. Goodbye. Alright, so I'll be... Go, Piona. I closed the door behind me and let out a sigh. I could always pin this on the crazy inventors, and in my situation I could really use even the most basic form of stress relief. I came to the square. The clock showed noon. That meant dinner was coming. I sat on a bench with a solid intention of not moving from here until the come and get it bell sound comes. Pioneers were running by. They were smiling and shouting merrily. Yeah, that day was definitely a wonderful one. I glanced over the square and saw Lena approaching. Relaxing? Something like that. She sat by me and looked at the sky. Nice day, huh? It is. It was a bit awkward. Lena seemed different. She was not embarrassed. Her face was not red. She was confident. So, about that conversation. I told you everything already? Yes, but... Just forget it. If you say so. We sat for a little longer in silence. I just can't, not like that. So what do you think about Alisa? She said, ignoring my inquiry. What do I think about Alisa? I repeated, lost in thought. I don't really know. Why? You're just so worried about yesterday. Well, of course, but what does that have to do with it? There's a direct connection there. She laughed. Let's assume. So what? Well, and again I started thinking. Really, what do I think of her? Well, she can be arrogant sometimes. That's right. What else can I say? Now that I think of it, I don't know Alisa at all. The way she acts does annoy me sometimes. If you are wondering if I had any negative feelings about her, no. I mean, she gets carried away, but everyone has their quirks. Lena stared at me. Really? Did I say something wrong? No, not really. She laughed out loud one more time, just before the lunch bell sound came. Alright, see ya. I didn't stop her, although I had a lot of questions left. But how do I ask them? And should I? I got up and slowly shuffled to the canteen. There were only few spots left, so I had to sit with electronic at Shurik. Did you deliver it? Yeah, I answered lazily, poking my fork at the back with kasha. No incidents? No incidents. What was in there anyway? You didn't open it, did you? He stared. No. Great. Finished my meal, I went out. I was struck by a sudden yawn. Taking a nap wouldn't be a bad idea. I headed to the camp leader's cabin. It felt like the summer sun was going to melt the whole planet, together with all its inhabitants. There was nowhere to hide. The sunlight seemed to reflect from every surface. Looking up, you risked going blind. Using my last bit of strength, I pulled the door handle, entered the room, and fell onto the bed. Of course, I wouldn't expect the cabin to be really cool, but it was much better than outside. Blissfully, I stretched out on the bed and closed my eyes. Strangely, sleep deserted me. I was overwhelmed with thoughts teeming in my head. Here is another theory, a solution to the problem of how I got here. Here is an explanation of what's going on here. And here is the true form of all those inhabiting this place. I remember Lena saying, "What do you think about Alisa?" Seriously, what do I think of her? What can I think of a person I've only known for a few days? Can I just draw conclusions based on a couple of words and deeds? Although her deeds. I laughed a bit. Any relevant organization would draw the right conclusion based on the monument bombing. Still though, I don't care. Maybe I really don't think anything of her. Can one be interested in a person who's not interesting? No, that's some sort of absurdity. A knock on the door. Come in. I was too lazy to get up, so I just sat up a little bit. The door opened and I saw Alisa. What a coincidence. She stopped unsure and stared at me for a couple of seconds. I guess you are looking for the camp leader. Why would she thought? No. What's up then? I was looking for you. She was looking for me. She sounded calm and not aggressive at all. I caught myself thinking I was not afraid of her and had no concerns when she behaved like that, normally. What for? I want to make everything clear. She sat on the bed across from me. What exactly? I want to clean up any misunderstandings or miscommunications. Alright, I'm up for that. Have you spoken with Lena today? Yes. About what? Nothing really. You're lying. Alisa looked stiff and worried. She crossed her legs and bit her lip. You do understand I'm always assumed to be guilty whenever anything happens. Well, you always are guilty. I said thoughtlessly. A spark flashed in her eyes, but she kept talking calmly. Maybe. But in this case, me and Lena, we're always like that. Even if she starts something, she's all innocent, and I'll take all the blame. So you're saying that Lena... Actually, I don't really know what you're saying. You never understand anything, do you? She fumed. This is strange, I wouldn't call myself slow. So explain. You do know Lena likes you. She went red after those words. No, I answered truthfully. Well, now you do. Now I do. An uncomfortable silence overtook the room. I was processing what she said, and Alisa seemed unsure of how to continue the conversation. Lena likes me. Could I ever have guessed? Unlikely. My intuition is usually good, but when it's about me and my feelings, it does not work at all. The weirdest thing was, I accepted the news with almost no worries. Right at the moment, I was listening to Alisa. I was focused only on her. I could think about the rest later. And she thinks I'm gonna steal you away from her. She thinks that all the time, understand? Even though it's always the other way around. Everyone looks at her cause she's such an angel, and nobody pays any attention to me. To them I'm just a shoulder to cry on. Don't cry! Alisa started screaming. Look, please don't get so upset. I don't think of you like that. Of course. I still had no idea what forced her to be so honest. And I didn't know how to react. I was not worried at all. Moreover, I was not worried at all. It was like I was watching another episode of some TV series, and what was going on in the room was on the other side of the screen. I understand. I was the reason for all of it. But today Lena said it was okay. But just like her, you've probably realized that she's not as quiet as she wants to seem. I started to guess. If I can do anything. Tell me. Lisa raised her eyes. Only then did I see she's been crying. Some sort of worry stirred inside of me. I could not treat the conversation like I was an outsider anymore. Do you like Lena? Or do you like me? I guess I should have expected a question like that, but I just wasn't ready. Just like that. Lena is nice, of course. It's nice, of course. But Lisa has her good points as well. Besides the way she was at that moment, she could seriously compete with Lena. I don't really know you two at all. A question like that. It's difficult to answer directly. If I could say no, I would have at the very moment. But I only had one chance for the other answer as well. And I didn't know what to choose. You did want the situation to resolve itself? Of course, but... Why bad again? Why again? Why? Look, we are going nowhere with this. Well, answer then. Her face fell back into its usual bold arrogance. I need time to think. Well, go ahead and think. I stood up and abruptly and headed out. Don't forget we have plans for tonight. She sat on the threshold smiling. The door closed behind her before I could say anything. Plans? What kind of plans? The talk with Alisa left a heavy impression on me. So Lena likes me. On its own, the news could shock and startle, and I, above that, was also forced to make a choice, a difficult one, to put it mildly, and any choice I make would be a mistake for someone. If only I could refuse them both. Although I didn't like the words refuse itself. If I could just answer her question with no, it would be easier. But I knew it couldn't work like that. After I talked to Alice, I realized nothing would ever be the same again. It can be, no matter what happens. And I'll have to make a decision. Since I rejected the no scenario, I needed to pick a positive solution. If, of course, I could live with it. But I was sure that out of all the possible outcomes, there is one that won't just satisfy everyone, but would also be one that I would want to strive for. And the choice seems obvious, Lena. No! What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck? I went Alisa's route. She's pretty cute, she's kind. But then again, there was something about Alisa that attracted me. Exactly! Suddenly the door flew open and Olga Dmitrievna came in. Lounging around again, huh? Just resting. It's so hot out there. Go and help Flavia. She was asking around. Where? Asked Leslie. On the sports field. Reluctantly I got up and headed out. I should really air my brain out anyway. There were a lot of people at the sports grounds. Some were playing football, others were playing badminton. Younger kids were just chasing each other. Semyon! Slavia woke up to me. You require my assistance? I asked all official-like. Yeah. Listen, did you take the infirmary key? No. Why me again, anyway? Well, you were there a lot recently. I guess she's right. No. Maybe you know who did. No, why? The nurse came up to me to ask for my key. You know that I have a key to every building in the camp. She said hers went missing. Could she have lost it? I shrugged. No, she said she couldn't have. I don't know, okay? Okay. She smiled and ran off. I headed to the camp leader's house determined to get some sleep after all. Olga Dmitrievna wasn't there, thank God, so I fell on the bed and lost consciousness. I don't exactly remember what I dreamed of, but it felt a heavy impression, as afternoon naps often do. I put some effort in getting off the bed and looked at the clock. It was just after 7. It's after 3 a.m. Not surprising if you think about it. I should have expected to sleep through the day. Although, as it turns out, I missed dinner as well. That thought made me uncomfortable and I headed to the exit. I stopped on the threshold and thought of what to do next. I don't know how long I would have stood there. My head was still heavy after sleep, if someone hadn't called out to me. Slava was quickly walking towards the cabin. Semyon! She started breathless. Are you sure you don't have the infirmary key? Of course not. Why would I need it? Well, do you know who took it? No, I don't. Why? Well, something has gone missing. What? Something important. Something important? Of course, booze. Slavia hesitated. Some medication. Yeah, medication. So all this sunburst was started because of some medicine. Yeah, medicine. Although I pondered. I mean, I had a bottle in my cabin. Did she mean that? I tried to keep my face to a stone without doing anything to give myself away. Okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, Slavia said in frustration. I looked at her and tried to figure out how bad this situation was for me, or whether I was in trouble at all. On the one hand, the vodka. I still it. Then again, she's saying it's gone, as it disappeared all by itself with no external influence. Alright, let's go with the flow and I just used the bad words. Alright, we'll go with the flow in the next episode, and right now we'll end this one, and I see you in the next one, and see you and bye.